mother effer, what the effing hell? You almost had me there. I went hello, 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 and I was like, I don't think I turned on the mic this week again. And I was right. Also, what is your problem, Stream Deck? Yeah, I keep having to make me close you completely and then reopen you to get you to work with OBS. Is it since the update? And then the new plugin? Like, what is going on? Hello, though. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. I am, of course, Marcus Nez, your host. Hi. And, we got some stuff to talk about. Not too much. Few games. Nothing really new watching-wise. I am still just powering through. I shouldn't say I'm powering through Star Trek The Next Generation anymore. I am enjoying it overall, I guess I'd say. It's fine. We're in Season 2, and it's pretty much fine. It's perfectly watchable. There are a handful of episodes that are actually pretty good. I was surprised to see that Measure of a Man, one of the most iconic and famous Next Generation episodes, which is all about Data and his rights and what it means to be human or have rights, etc. That is actually from Season 2 and pretty early on. It's maybe episode 9 or so. I just realized that I said actually like 1,000 fucking times already. I'm like, that's actually too many times to actually be saying actually in a short period of time. Actually. Freaking actually. But that's a still pretty good episode. And it's early on in the series, which is a big surprise. I think it's got to be the most highly rated episode from the second season, which is still considered to be a not great season overall. But it seems maybe it's just the trauma of season 1 and how awful most of that is, but Season 2 is pretty good, and I like some of the new characters we've gotten. I talked about this last time, but I really like Whoopi, and I just watched an episode with her and what are they? Not the Romulan, the Borg? Is that they are? The machine race type people who are all a collective, and we got a good amount of backstory and growth with her, whereas she's always just been this sort of wise bartender character. We're now getting to see more of who she is, where she comes from, etc., and that was nice. But she's really good on the show, and it's a reminder of how Whoopi Goldberg was kind of fucking good back in the day. Even when stuff wasn't good, like with Ghost, she was good. So, you know, now we're stuck with View Whoopi, and I miss Ghost and TNG Whoopi. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of what I've been watching. I haven't had much time to do anything else, and even with the oatmeal, busting out a Van Damme movie here and there. I talked about Galaxy Quest last time. I don't even remember what I watched this last time. I just watched Kickboxer this morning, and that was better than I expected. It's still not better than Bloodsport, but it's not as bad as I remember it being. And I think I mostly related that to, or blame that on, my assumption, but I'm pretty sure I've seen this, of people often comparing Kickboxer and Bloodsport or putting them on the same level, and I wouldn't say that. I think Kickboxer is at the very top of the mid-tier Van Damme movies. So it's in that category of Van Damme movies that you have to like Van Damme to enjoy. I don't think you're going to enjoy Kickboxer unless you enjoy Van Damme, or you really like good bad movies, because anytime a character speaks in that movie, it's horrible, but it's good horrible. It's really bad dialogue, but it's amusing. I mean, right from the start, you get great writing, like, man, the champ, he's so awesome. He's so awesome at his job. He's so good. He just wins all the time. It's just like, who wrote this? A 12-year-old? And Van Damme at least co-wrote it. He had a hand in it. So, checks out. But it's basically one long training montage with a fight here or there, and then the occasional visit to the hospital where Van Damme is checking in on his paralyzed brother. But it's like there's a lot of lighthearted, silly moments in it, but it's also incredibly dark. And I did not remember that. I mean, one, you've got the brother getting paralyzed. That's not great. But then you have, I think the dog survived. But you have the dog getting shot by an arrow. And the way they shoot it, it's just like the dog's running around. The arrow gets shot. It hits the dog. And then it's just like a quick, like, oh, it's just laying down now. And now there's an arrow sticking out of it. And here's the look at its sad face. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, it's kind of silly the way it's shot, but also the sad look on that dog's face did not make me happy. But then you have the lady that Van Damme is interested in. She gets raped. The big bad fighter dude rapes her in a means to get into his head, get into Van Damme's head, while also kidnapping the brother. I'm like, this is maybe a bit much. Maybe just a wee bit much. But it's all right. It's all right. You know, Bloodsport is something that I think anyone not or even non-Van Damme fans could enjoy. But Kickboxer doesn't quite hit that mark. So, better than I expected, but still not top tier. Not quite top tier. Close, but no cigar. And that's it in terms of what I've been watching that I can think of. I feel like I must be missing something. What the hell did I watch between Kickboxer and Galaxy Quest? Because there's time there. I watched something. Oh yeah, I watched WarGames. That's what I watched. I watched WarGames to see if it holds up the way I believed it did, because I always talk about how great that movie is, how much I loved it, and how much I'm so sure it does hold up, but I never actually went ahead and rewatched it to confirm that or not. And I still really, really like it. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn that moves fast, which might be a bit of a contradiction and not make sense. But I feel like if you watch it, maybe you'll see what I'm saying. It's not a super exciting movie. And it's roughly 2 hours. But at no point did it drag, or did I look at my watch and wonder how much time was left. It moved at a fairly steady pace. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. I really, really like it. The thing about it is that I don't know if it's a movie people who weren't born around and in that era would enjoy as much, given somewhat to the slow nature to it and just the tech in it and all that jazz. I think it could be on the boring side to those who have no knowledge or recollection or memory of those times. But one of the things I realized while watching it is that I don't like Matthew Broderick. I am not a fan of his. And it's not always that, or not just that he does a lot of bad movies. I think Ferris Bueller is a bad movie. That's like an outlier where I think most people would not. What? But like Godzilla, I'm not a fan of. I know Enchi's a fan of. And maybe it's because of Broderick. I don't know. But he ruins Lady Hawk. Lady Hawk has a lot of potential. But he ruins it. Part of it is that his character by design is kind of shitty. But he does not fit that role. He does not fit the role in Glory. Whenever he tries to actually, there we go, another actually, baby. Whenever he tries to actually act, like real acting, give me an Oscar acting, he's horrible. He cannot act at all. I don't know if there's ever been a role where he's shown that he can act I was gonna say actually, even jokingly, I don't want to say actually anymore. Goddamn, but he's really, really bad. The only movie I could think of where I thought, "Hey, you're good in this," is the Producer's remake, which I like more than the original. I don't love either all that much, and I'm not a huge Mel Brooks fan. That's something I grew out of real fast, sadly. No, I mean, sad just because I remember liking a lot of his stuff, especially Robin Hood Men in Tights. I remember loving the hell out of that, and now it's just doesn't do much for me. But Matthew Broderick, no. He feels like a shitty version of John Cusack from that era. And that's where I'll leave that. Now, let's get on to what I've been playing. So first up is Isonzo, which is a World War I based online multiplayer shooter for 48 players. So 24v24. One mode. That's it. It's a very stripped down basic game. This is from, I forget the name of the studio, but they put out I think 2 other World War I shooters. One of which was Verdun, and I think I can't remember the other one. But it's all about large scale battles and 2 opposing forces. So one side is going to be the attackers and one side is going to be the defenders. And you just have these large scale battles that are focused on various sections of a map, and then you move forward. If the attackers progress and they're able to move on to the next area, you move on to there, and matches can take near an hour, so they're not short matches, and it plays pretty well. You have 3 modes: quality, resolution, and performance. I'd say, at least on the Series X, there wasn't a noticeable... I'm assuming that performance meant 120 FPS. I didn't look into it, but I'm making that assumption because I don't have a 120 FPS screen, or at least not that I play on. And so the difference in performance between performance and quality and resolution wasn't that noticeable. When things got really hectic, I noticed a few drops, but overall, on quality, at least it still felt pretty good. And it looks significantly better. You are going to see a significant drop in visual fidelity when playing on performance mode, which leads me to believe it has to be 120 FPS, because I think anti-aliasing is just completely turned off and it does not look good. So I'd recommend just playing on quality mode for the pretty visuals, because it looks pretty good and it plays well. It plays like a traditional Call of Duty game. But the problem with the game, for me, and I don't know how many games do it these days. I'm so used to Apex that isn't handled this way and doesn't work this way that I don't know what the standard is anymore. And regardless of that, I don't think the standard should be this if it is. But it is very newcomer unfriendly. And what I mean by that is there are weapons and whatnot that are all locked behind a leveling system for the various classes. And they're all tied to each class. So you are leveling up each class individually. And the classes consist of an officer, rifleman, marksman, engineer, assault, and I think that's it. I don't think there's like a support medic class. But you're leveling up each one individually, and as you level up them, then you will unlock access to new weapons, and I don't know, that might be all you're getting. You might be also getting access to new perks that allow you to do things like build structures if you are, I think, the engineer class, or cut wire, etc. And the real problem, though, is the fact that you have these guns that are locked behind the leveling system, so that if you are new to the game, you're just fucked. because everyone starts off with just a basic bolt-action rifle. Every class feels very, very samey. Sure, you have these different perks, but every single one of them at the starting point has only access to a different type of bolt-action rifle and a sword as a sidearm, essentially. None of them have pistols as sidearms. If you want a pistol to start off, you have to play as the officer. There are only 2 officers per team, and those get gobbled up real fast, those spaces. And I think all of them have a limit except riflemen. But the way the leveling system works and how it locks you and gates this shit makes it so that if you are new, you're gonna be fucked. Because, for instance, I think it has to be the assault class. Until you reach level 10, you just have the bolt action rifle. But then when you hit that level, or maybe it might have even been level 15, you unlock access. You don't have to use this gun. You can keep using the bolt action rifle, but you'll unlock access to a machine gun, an automatic rifle. And you know what's deadly in World War I when everyone else is using a bolt action rifle? And if they're not, if they miss that first shot, you're gonna fucking destroy them. Okay? That's just how it's gonna work. And then with the marksman class, your sniper class, there's absolutely no reason to play as that class until you level them up. But then, I mean, you need to play as them to level them up. But their initial loadout does not come with a fucking scope. So their advantage as being a marksman class, a sniper class, which you would assume would include a scope right from the get-go, is negated at the beginning because you have not progressed enough with them to unlock a scope, a gun, a loadout with a scope. So their loadout is no better or really different than any of the other classes. To start, you have to level them up first. This system is just incredibly annoying, and I really, really found it incredibly frustrating. And it sucks because I think the game overall feels pretty good, looks good. I like the idea of large-scale battles. They can be exhausting if maybe you want a quick hit. This is not the game to play. But if you want some tense, large-scale battles, it's good for that. It's just the leveling system kills all of my enthusiasm for the game and wanting to keep playing, because I look at it and I'm like, I mean, the longer this game is out and the more people play it and the more people drop off, where we'll just be left with nothing but the hardcore playing, it is going to be really rough on new players to jump in and then get destroyed by somebody who has a machine gun or someone who has a scope. And you're like, how did it, like, I didn't see anyone. How did I get shot from so far away? Oh, it's because they have a scope and I don't have a scope. It just fucking sucks. But it'll always be populated, which is nice because I'm pretty sure the way it works, I know that pre-release when I had the game, like, it would just populate matches with bots, and I think that's the way it still works. So if you don't have a full lobby, it's just going to fill all the empty spaces with bots until more people come in. So you'll always be able to find a game. I don't know if it does a great job of distinguishing between, I mean, you wouldn't see the logo behind them, but I do like that. I do like when multiplayer games have either just the ability to play against bots on their own in their own little individual matches, or they fill lobbies with bots while you're waiting for them to fill up, instead of having to wait for enough people to show up to start a match. Just like start a match with however many people here, fill the rest of the spots with bots, and then get rid of the bots as more people start rolling in. So I like that as well. There's a lot to like in Isonzo, but the leveling system, again, just kills everything else. Then Foretales is a narrative deck builder, which is available on Switch and PC. I was playing on Switch, and I I really, really like this game. I've only dipped my toe in it, did the tutorial chapter, and then a bit after that, maybe a chapter 2 after that. And the way it works is that you have your deck of cards, and you'll have on the right side sort of like your inventory cards, which include food, supplies, money, fame, and these like death cards. Then you have your characters that are in your group in the middle, and on the left are their specific ability cards or action cards. So maybe scouting ahead, stealing, battle cry, whatnot. And then on the board, you have 4 spaces, and these spaces will have either character cards or very often, I think the number of spaces, it varies from location to location and where you are in an act in the story. So I think sometimes it was 3 and sometimes 4, etc. But you have these spaces in any given chapter, whatnot, and they'll have either character cards on them or environmental cards, environment cards, location cards. And in some cases, those location cards might have bandits on them or security, not security. What am I thinking of? Not security. I mean, technically security. But, the authorities, they'll have authority people on them, which you'll have to engage with before you can actually... before you can go check out the location and get any information you need to do. And the way it works is that you'll have these cards on the table, and then you interact with them in various ways to progress the story and keep everything moving forward. So you might, for instance, at the very beginning, you're asked to steal a lyre, and this is what initiates the rest of the story and the expansion and the opening of it up into a more, to give you more choice. But you're asked to steal this lyre, which then turns out to be this mystical thing, and you're able to see various futures, and then you're able to try and create paths or do things that will lead to a changing of certain outcomes. But the way it works is that you have the table, and then you'll have the ability to interact with these spaces by using either your supply card things, like the money, fame, food, etc., or your ability cards. So there might be a creature card on the table, and you can choose to use your Swift Hands card to steal from them, and it'll tell you with every card, it'll tell you what it'll do, if it'll do anything to the various cards on the table. So with the creature card, Swift Hands will maybe steal 2 gold, but then bring on the authorities, bring on the guards, or there's RNG tied with everything. You could maybe kill that person and steal their gold, get some food at the same time. You can go to a shop card and use money to get food, or use a different card on a different space to get some fame, etc. And all these various currencies are used to progress the story in other ways. When you get into a combat scenario, whether it's with bandits or guards, you can then, instead of having to actually fight them, you could use food to bribe some guards and get them away. And the way the combat works is all based off a morale system. And the morale will drop as you either defeat combatants or get them to flee for some other reason, whether it's through bribing or whatever. And once morale hits 0, the rest of the enemies will get the fuck out of there. I'm doing a horrible job of explaining this, because I've only scratched the surface, and in no way does that make me an authoritative voice on this game. But I think the whole deck building system does a really good job of giving you interesting ways of dealing with these choices. And it's essentially like it's just a fucking choose your own adventure game, okay? That's what it is. Do you like choose your own adventure games? Do you want one that is handled like the way you control it and progress is all through a deck building, a very light deck building aspect? It's not super complicated or features a lot of depth or anything. It's very easy to get into. And I'm just gonna shut up now because I feel like I don't know. I'm fucking just sound like a moron talking about it. Then the last game I played is Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. And I played a bit of this on stream, and the funny thing is, I didn't have any. I had some performance issues where it got a little framey here and there, but overall it was okay. But the second I stopped streaming, I played a bit more. I experienced 3 crashes, which are super annoying. At least the checkpoint system was pretty alright, so I didn't lose a lot of progress, but it's still annoying. And I got to the point that I wanted to get to, which is where I discovered how the game handles the ammo system. And it's just like the first remake, which asks you... No, it doesn't ask you. It requires you to transmogrify objects in the world in order to get more ammo. And why I hate this system is because in the heat of battle, when you're hurting for ammo and you really just need some ammo so you can fucking kill the rest of the people, you do have weapons like the Zap-O-Matic or whatever, your electrocution gun, which just works off a cooldown system, so you'll always have that. But for the weapons that use ammo, in order to get more ammo, you got to transmogrify an object. And I timed it again. It takes roughly 5 seconds from initiating transmogrification to the point at which it becomes ammo that you can then use in your gun. And that may not seem like a long time, but again, in the heat of battle, 5 seconds is a long fucking time. I would only recommend playing this game on easy because it's just a silly, stupid game, so why try and challenge yourself? But I hate that ammo system. I hate that ammo system so much, and I know it was different at least in the first game, it was different in the original. And I wish it was just... I don't care if it kind of makes sense thematically. It does not make for enjoyable gaming. And sometimes that's more important, especially in a game that is not asking to be taken seriously and is in no way realistic. Who gives a shit about how you get your ammo? Just have it fucking fall out. Like, just have it fall out of the fucking humans when you kill them. Or anything else. When you destroy objects, just have ammo come out of it. Who cares? Why make me have to transmogrify it instead? Just fucking give me the ammo, you piece of crap. I want to have fun with your game. I don't want to deal with stupid shit like that. But I don't know what it is about Destroy All Humans 2. It may in part be the structure. So the first game was structured in a more simplistic manner of being mission-based, and in between missions, you'd go back to your home saucer, do some upgrades if you have enough points, etc., and then go on to another mission in a various location. And Destroy All Humans 2 is more open world based. So you have a handful of hub worlds, and then missions will crop up within them, and you can also explore, find collectibles, etc. in them. But this structure feels, and it could just be because of its age, it doesn't work. The worlds aren't that interesting to be in. They're very like the game. I'll give this, the game still, just like the first one, the amount of work they put into the visuals is undeniable, and it looks fantastic. Ignoring any technical issue and bugs that you'll find, cars losing their fucking mind, shit like that. Just from a pure fidelity standpoint, it looks so good. And it plays overall pretty well. But it's also funny because it is very much so mostly just a visual upgrade. And they even have a disclaimer when you launch the game. Just an FYI, everyone, this is pretty much just a visual upgrade. We did very little to change the way the game originally worked and all that. So just know you're mainly just getting really, really nice visuals with this game. And we didn't update anything else. And I think that tells you everything you need to know. The fact that they feel the need to put that disclaimer in the front of the game maybe makes it clear that they even know themselves that, this might not be the best game ever. So, I mean, we didn't try and change anything. We just made it pretty. So don't fucking hold it against us. Don't, when you're talking about the game, when you're reviewing the game, remember, we know that we didn't change anything either. We just, you probably want this, right? And I think there is value in remaking games where all you're doing is improving the visuals. But it's clear with Destroy All Humans 2, and this could be part of the problem too, is that really it's not that much different from the first game. And did we need another just remake of an old Destroy All Humans game? I think not. I think with the 2 hours or so I put into Destroy All Humans 2, it's clear that the way they should have done it is remake the first game to remind people of it. And I think the first game holds up pretty... it's just that the first game was enough. Just to say the first game holds up and to say the second doesn't would be bullshit. The thing is, the first game was enough. It was enough to scratch that itch to remind me and other people of what Destroy All Humans was and make us want more. I played it. I was frustrated in moments. I hate the transmogrify system, but overall I enjoyed my time with it. And it made me want some more. Maybe want a new game with crypto, a new Destroy All Humans game, a game with modern sensibilities, etc. And that's what they should have done. Instead of remaking the second game, they should have made Destroy All Humans new class, whatever the fuck they want to call it, but just make a new one. We didn't need another remake. And yeah, that's kind of where I ended up. After I played it for a bit, I realized that I had enough. I got my fill with the first remake, and I don't really want or need any more. There are some fun new weapons they've added, like the dancing gun and the bounce gun. I really, really like the bounce gun. I don't know if it's called the bounce gun, but you can charge up and then shoot people, and then they'll just bounce like they're being pinballed all over the world. And you can do it with vehicles too. It's fun. It's fun to watch the mayhem. And that's when Destroy All Humans is at its best, when you're just fucking dicking around in the world and doing stuff. It's also very, very talky. Holy shit, does this game just want to talk your ear out and be very... I don't know if that carries on throughout the entire game, but the story bits seem more prominent, and it's not a good story. It's super cheesy. And when you get a lot of it, it starts to wear on you. I think the first game had a good balance of story and just gave you enough. Gave you all you needed, and then allowed you to just be in this world having a fun, silly time. And they changed a few more things that may have been the way they were changed in the original. I realized when I was playing this that I did not play the original back in the day. I played the first game, and I remembered a fair amount of that, but I clearly did not play the second one back in the day. So this is all new to me. But for instance, the way the cloning system works, where you are able to transform into human characters. In the first game, you do this, and you're essentially freezing the person you copied in the space they were in, and you are donning their appearance. And then you use your little mind-reading ability to replenish your clone bar so that you won't be discovered. The way it works in Destroy All Humans 2 is that you essentially just inhabit a person's body, and then you're able to be in there for a certain amount of time. There didn't seem to be a way to increase that time or add more time to it. And I think I like the new system. But again, it's more destroy all humans from back in the day. If you really, really liked the remake of the first game and when you finish it, you just wanted more, you're going to be happy. If you played the original game back in the day and you just want a pretty version of that, you'll probably be happy. But if you played the remake and upon completing it, you thought, this is all right. I'd love to see what they would do now with modern ideas and everything. You're going to be disappointed because there's nothing. It very much just feels like a direct continuation of the first game. You know, it's just in the 60s instead of like the 50s. So, yeah, a bit disappointed there. And it could just be, I will also say I might just not have been in the right mood for it. It was really late when I was playing it, but then I played some more this morning and I still wasn't feeling it. So, I don't think it's bad. It's just, why? Do something new. Give us something new. I did not want this remake. Remake something else. But I feel like that's all we're getting, because this is what one of them Cock Media, Deep Silver, remake everything at this point. Nothing new. But yeah, that's it in terms of what I've been playing. So let's get to the Patreon questions and call it a show. I feel like this episode just is sucking poopy doopy poop. But the questions we have from Jedi. Any game studios that you just immediately say no to if you see they are developing a game? And this is a hard question. I thought about it and I didn't think too deeply about it. I'm trying to think if there really is a studio out there that I 100% nope out of, and I just would not. I don't think there is, because I'm open to giving any studio a chance, even if they've burned me over and over and over again. I'd say maybe the closest would be Quantum Dream. That's the name of them, right? The Heavy Rain people, because they fucking burned the shit out of me with Heavy Rain. I don't know if there's any other game where the ending completely ruined the whole of the experience that came before it for me, like Heavy Rain did, because it just negated everything that happened before. The choices I made, the way the story played out, the ending basically said, hey, actually, this is a deserving actually. You know how you play the game and how you were handling this one character? It doesn't make any fucking sense now, because really they were this, and it doesn't matter that you did all this stuff in your playthrough because they were this all along. And I just was like, how does any of this fucking make sense? And it doesn't. And I haven't played Beyond Two Souls. I haven't played Detroit Become Human. And I'm not all that interested in the Star Wars thing. So I guess they're there. Outside of that, I don't know, man. I don't know. What studios could there be? What studios could there be? The studio that makes FIFA? They don't fucking give a shit about soccer. It's like, oh, what are you making? Oh, another FIFA? All right, good. I ain't playing your game. There's probably someone I'm forgetting. I'm just trying to think of big games and whatnot. I could think of studios where it doesn't matter what they make, I'd play 100%. But the opposite, I'm pretty open to giving anything a shot and letting a studio that may have led me astray multiple times or every other time in the past a chance to finally make good. I like that. I I like being open to all that and everything. I mean, there are individual creators who, if they were making a game, I maybe like. If David Jaffe got back into the industry, I'd be very hesitant about going anywhere near anything he made. But at the same time, unless he was doing it all on his own, games are made by many people. And I'm not going to let one bad person keep me from supporting something that was made by a whole team of people who are probably not bad people. But yeah, I might get back to this question next episode, Jedi. I forgot you asked it. I remember thinking, oh, that's a good question, and then I forgot to like actually do a bit of research to try and think of studios where that would be the case. Man, I wish I had a better answer. There's because all I can think of like is not studios that I'm just like nope, but studios that I look at and I think nowhere near as highly of them as other people, like Naughty Dog. We've gone over this, but maybe that changed with The Last of Us Part 2, but I think they are horrible at gunplay. Like the Uncharted games, they all feel like shit. And the only reason why the newer ones feel alright is because they added in the accessibility options a lock-on feature that make the dog shit shooting tolerable. And yeah, I don't fucking care about Last of Us Part 2 and any argument that that one's trying to be realistic and you're actually supposed to play it stealthily. I don't care. There are moments where you can't be stealthy and you're asked to shoot and it just feels like shit. But I haven't played The Last of Us Part 2. Maybe they finally fixed it. But the last Patreon question is from Living Large. How many Sonic games have you played to completion? And when I actually... God damn with the actually... Oh my god, this is my kryptonite. I need to fucking shut up with this. I need to stop it. No more. I'm putting this out there. Y'all can verbally slap me in the face. Next episode if I do. Next episode, I am actually never going to say actually during that episode. I promise. Scouts on or whatever. I don't, whatever people. But back to the question. How many Sonic games have I finished to completion? The answer is 0. I'm pretty sure I've never beaten a Sonic game. I don't have any recollection of beating Sonic 1. I don't have any recollection of beating Sonic 2. I never played Sonic 3, Sonic CD. I played like 10 minutes of Sonic Adventure, nothing of Adventure 2. Played a little bit of Unleashed, a little bit of Mania, a little bit of Colors, I think. A smidgen of Forces. No, I did not beat Sonic Spinball. that would be the funny one to have beaten. I like Sonic Spinball, but I really liked the first 2 games, but I'm pretty sure I never finished them. I'm pretty sure. If they have very memorable ends, like if I beat Sonic 1 or Sonic 2, I have no idea how they end, what the ending is, or any of that. So, you can call me a fake Sega fan all you want, but, I just liked other games on my Genesis. Sonic's fine. I don't have anything against Sonic. And I think the new game, the latest trailer we got a few weeks ago or so, it has me super, super excited in it, Sonic Frontiers. That trailer, I think it was more than a trailer, it was like a overview type of thing. I am more interested in that than the new Zelda game, the new pretty much anything. It is at the top of my I'm very curious how this game is going to play out list now. I really want to see how Sonic Frontiers turns out, and I'm excited to eventually play it. I'm hoping it's great. I hope for not just people like me who aren't really the biggest Sonic people can maybe get into it, but I hope it is something that Sonic fans can fucking love and champion and be like, look at this great game we got. Look at this. We finally did it. We finally did it, people. So, yeah. Thinking about this, though, living large. You know what? You asked me if Need for Speed Payback is worth $3. And that's what got me to play it for a tad of the backlog. And I had a miserable fucking time. Thank you very much. And now you asking this question has me thinking, you know what? It could be kind of fun to make the first Sonic game I ever finished be either the Werehog one, Sonic Unleashed, or Sonic Forces, which is the one where you create your own Sonic, and it's very kid-centric, and I think a lot of Sonic fans hate it. So I think I'm still going to play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance next for second runs, to just have something. I need to have something that I'm guaranteed to enjoy. But after that, I think it's Sonic time, baby. I think it's Sonic time. And I think it's either Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Colors. Not Colors, Sonic Forces. I'm not so mean and so hating of myself, and we all know I hate myself a whole bunch. I am not ready for Sonic 2006. But Unleashed or Forces? Maybe. But that will do it for this here episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. Once again, I'm Marcus Ness. Y'all can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. You can, of course, watch the video version of this if you are an audio listener on the YouTubes. That is youtube.com/pixelatedsausage. And if you're already here or not here, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that jazz if you haven't already. It does help a lot. That is especially important of you audio listeners who may think it doesn't matter, but, you know, just popping in over there for a minute and doing a bit of liking, subscribing, and whatnot. It does help a lot, and it would be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you'd like to find all my other links of importance, you can go over to pixelatedsausage.com/pxs. And if you enjoy any of this stuff I do and what have you, of course, the streams as well are on the YouTube, so everything's there. But if you do enjoy the things I do and what have you, you can go over to patreon.com/pxs to support me and my nonsense that away. And if you support at the $3 or higher level, you'll be able to ask me dumb questions on this show. Sometimes great questions, often pretty good questions. Not too many dumb questions. I'm thankful that my few supporters aren't a bunch of dum-dums. But you can do that. You can join in that fun. And you'll also get access to a private Discord channel where nothing really happens other than asking the questions. But, I mean, things can happen if you want, and no one else will be the wiser. So that sounds good. Do that. But, yeah. That is, again, patreon.com/pxs. Anywho, that will really do it. So, as always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
It's go time. Go daddy. It's go time. Go daddy.